Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone podcast. My name is Kathy. As you are aware, if you have been following this case of Idaho versus Kohberger, there was a stunning development this week. The jury trial was, as of June 30th, 2025, scheduled to commence approximately August 18th, 2025. Sometime during the afternoon of the 30th of June, there came whispers across various mainstream media organizations that seemed to spread like wildfire during the afternoon and evening that Mr. Kohberger had entered into a plea agreement, which would obviate the need for a jury trial. And we learned later that the court had scheduled a hearing to occur Wednesday, the 2nd of July, 2025. And at that hearing, if you watched it, transmitted live or thereafter, then you know that Mr. Kohberger stood up in open court and pled guilty to all 5 of the counts that were brought against him back in May of 2023 by operation of the indictment returned by the Latah County Grand Jury. A copy of the plea agreement that was addressed in open court on July 2nd, 2025, appears on the court docket for you to review. It was filed July 2nd, 2025 at approximately 2:04 in the afternoon. This would have been following the 11 a.m. proceeding that day. It begins by saying the State of Idaho, by and through the Latah County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, the defendant Brian C. Kohberger and the defendant's attorney Ann Taylor stipulate to the following plea agreement. Stipulate means that all involved here agree to what follows. On page number 2 of this document, you will see multiple paragraphs that begin by stating, paragraph 1, the defendant, that's Mr. Kohberger, will enter guilty pleas to the following counts. And they go through the 5 counts as stated in the indictment. 2, that defendant will be sentenced to 10 years for count 1, which is the burglary count. And then the next paragraph, the defendant will receive fixed consecutive life sentences for counts 2 to 5. And that relates to the unalivings of Madison, count 2, count 3, Kaylee, count 4, Xana, count 5, Ethan. Next paragraph, the state may seek restitution from Mr. Kohberger. Following paragraph 5, that he understands, Mr. Kohberger, the nature of the charge to which he agrees to plead guilty and the consequences of pleading guilty. And you can read the paragraphs in their entirety to learn what they say. It ends with 2 more paragraphs. Number 6, the defendant understands that if he were to proceed to trial, he would have a right to appeal, which he is now waiving. And then finally, that this is the entire agreement and understanding between the parties, and that is language that is placed in agreements, in civil as well as criminal agreements, standard language, that there's nothing else out there, that the parties have agreed to, that this is everything that's contained in the 4 corners of this 3-page document. And then below it, so stipulated, this is the date of the agreement, June 30th, 2025. You see the 4 signatures. It appears that Mr. Thompson and Ms. Jennings, on behalf of the Latah County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, might have signed this after Ms. Taylor and Mr. Kohberger did. Their dates of signature for Mr. Thompson and Ms. Jennings are July 2nd and 1st, it appears to be respectively here. There's no dates that Ms. Taylor and Mr. Kohberger signed this document. Nonetheless, all 4 signatures appear here. This will now conclude this episode of the Indie Zone. Thank you for joining us here today.